You're probably wondering, how do you accidentally make $10,000? And this isn't about those mobile apps that'll make you like 50 cents per survey, or all the 13-year-olds making millions from Fortnite tournaments, but instead how I ended up taking something I was passionate about without the goal of making any money, then turn that into a $10,000 side hustle while also setting myself up for a real career. I'll also cover other real life examples and how you can apply this to the thing that you're passionate about.
My turn is over. Activate. 3 blasting the ruin.
Now, I'm no trillionaire YouTube guru telling you the best path to 10K, but this is an income stream I stumbled across from doing something I actually enjoyed. And of course, 10K isn't a life-changing amount of money for most people, but it's a very reasonable starting point when you're building something on the side. For me, this started as simple as playing video games. So whether you think your hobby or interest can make money or not, you need to realize that you can monetize things in so many different ways. With all the internet money going around right now and opportunities out there, we're living in a crazy time, and it's all up to you to take advantage of it. So going into my first year of high school, I sunk way too many hours into this car soccer game called Rocket League. I actually got pretty good, and at a point I was dead set on wanting to go professional in this game, which aside from the issues that come with that, could have actually been pretty lucrative. Well, spoiler alert, I didn't end up going pro, but it was a pathway that I would stumble across years later that would be the one to actually make me some decent money online. Now, as I continued to play throughout high school and then college, I ended up joining this unpaid esports club at my school just because I liked competitive gaming. This only required simple things like running tournaments, moderating their Discord, and doing minor recruitment. This isn't where I'm going with the $10,000, but without even realizing it, I was also gaining genuine experience, which was a starting point in my career. Not to go off on too much of a tangent, but this then led to a different coaching position at another college, which was actually paid. Yes, video game coaching is a thing. Like I said, you could literally make money with anything. But then with that on my resume, I continued to get opportunities like an internship doing sponsorship campaigns, which then led to proper careers in business development and operations. So obviously this ended up being much more valuable than just $10,000, and I could have called this video how I accidentally made X yearly salary from video games, but getting work opportunities isn't actually the same as building your own business as a passion project. But I wanted to make this point clear since following my passion also led to a traditional 9-to-5 career path.
Coming to bed, honey?
Yes, dear.
Okay, then what was the side hustle that made $10,000 from video games? Well, for me, it was a YouTube channel, but that doesn't mean that's the vehicle that you have to take. Again, I was already heavily involved in gaming and esports in the first place, and I just leveraged the knowledge and skills I'd already gained from that. I started making unique video essays on topics about the game that other people weren't really covering. And even though I had prior experience making videos over the years, it's really not something you need. Just doing the thing is enough to gain experience as long as you stick with it. And I proved that to myself when I saw the improvement from my first videos compared to my last ones. So even after uploading on the side pretty inconsistently, I managed to do well enough to get the channel monetized, and from there I generated about $10,000, and that's with a pretty low RPM. My main point though is that this didn't even really feel like hard work since it was doing something I actually enjoyed. So to iterate on this, the passion you have for your business or side hustle is your leverage. Even though YouTube was a very slow way to make money compared to other business models, it just made the most sense for me personally. So sometimes it's better to just pursue the thing that better lines up with your interests rather than just going after the most profitable thing out there. And compared to all the side hustles I tried out over the years, me putting all this time into a video game ironically ended up being one of the biggest returns for me. Not to mention the fact that me being involved at that gaming club at my college ended up being way more useful than an actual college credential on my traditional career path. Okay, so how can you do the same with your passion? Well, the way I see it, there are two options here that both beat working a job you don't enjoy. Either you set yourself up to work a regular full-time career but in the industry your passion is in, or what most of you watching this will prefer is to just build your own thing around that interest. We can break this into 3 steps, and the first is the most simple. Number 1, pick your passion. This is the easy part. It should jump out at most of you, but if not, just think, what's the one thing that gets you up in the morning? Something you always think about and just want to do in your free time after coming home from a long day of work or school. This is what you'll be pursuing. And don't forget, my thing was video games, so it can really be anything. Number 2, pick a vehicle to monetize. You're gonna need a way to make money doing the thing you're passionate about. This can be something you have transferable skill in already or something completely brand new. As long as you're willing to actually put in the effort, you can make it work. So many people just get stuck overthinking this step, and there are so many options out there. You'll want to spend some time looking into the different business models and then pick the one that best aligns with you and your passion. And the final step is to just keep grinding and scaling. Even more people get caught up here overthinking this and never actually start, or just sort of start but then give up as soon as they don't see immediate results. But just by getting to this step, you're already ahead of so many other people. It is really easy to give up, but you have to just keep reminding yourself of the end goal and the fact that the sky is actually the only limit here. Since with a business, you'll no longer be held back by maxing out your salary or finding your way to that final job title at a company. Don't forget that you're playing a long-term game here, but at least it'll be so much easier when it's doing something you actually enjoy. To give an example, let's say you're really into watches. The first thing I would do after researching the different ways of monetizing is building a brand to establish myself in this industry. I'd start creating content on cool watches, maybe the history of them, famous people's watch collections, anything to do with them. Then I would commit to a way of monetizing by either starting a company reselling watches, or if I didn't have any money, I could start something like a watch consignment business. But through my brand, I'd push sales while monetizing my content. Then once I have enough capital built up from that, I can invest into the business, in this case being my store's inventory. From here, as I keep scaling, I'd buy more inventory, transition from organic marketing into running some paid ads, make connections at events, and again, it will be hard work, but it's so much more enjoyable if it's revolving around your passion. Going back to my gaming YouTube channel, while I personally chose not to keep scaling it, there was a lot more I could have done there, like launching a product or service within that niche, promoting affiliate links and setting up my own sponsorships, so that even though I was making money from AdSense, I could create multiple ways of monetizing to maximize the profit. So it's important to explore your pathways and really consider the different ways to monetize within your niche. Now, anyone can just talk theoreticals, but let's look at 3 very different real-life examples following those points. Alex Hormozi, a very successful entrepreneur who reached a net worth of $100 million before the age of 30, which all started from him building a business around his passion. Alex was very big into personal fitness, so he launched a gym with his savings. He took an innovative approach of pre-selling memberships to fund new locations, which allowed him to open new gyms without fronting the money. And if you don't have the upfront savings, there are a lot of other ways to monetize fitness knowledge. Eventually, he sold all 6 of his gyms and used that money to fund his new business model that offered consulting services specifically to gym owners, which was still centered around his passion for fitness. Brian Gentili. He's a very relatable entrepreneur in the sense that he kept failing at different side hustles like YouTube and a clothing brand, trying to find a way to make extra money on the side for his bills. But it all came back to him following his passion. Brian was a fan of Pokemon ever since he was a kid, and he opened a store with his wife reselling Pokemon cards imported from Japan. He scaled this business to a full-time 6-figure income while actually enjoying the process. He also built a community that watches him live stream pack openings and buys from him at local pop-up shops. One thing you can definitely learn from him is that he kept trying and just didn't give up. And without that, he'd never end up running the largest independent seller of Japanese Pokemon cards, Mr. Beast. The fact that you're on YouTube right now means I probably don't need to mention the fact that Mr. Beast is the largest YouTuber in the world. But at the end of the day, he had a burning passion for YouTube. In his case, the vehicle for monetizing was basically built into it, but with the drive he had, this likely would have been the case for anything. He became a massively successful YouTuber, but he also went a step further with his brand and all the products he'd end up launching, where he received a $1 billion offer for all of his companies, which is something not many of his peers can say the same about. And there are countless other examples of people following their passion to see success. What you can learn from these people is to not only follow your passion in a smart way, but to just take action. And for those of you curious about the YouTube automation business model, make sure you check out this video first. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.